Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now let's begin with some developments in the polity. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced that approximately 5.4 million voters registered ahead of the 11th November governorship elections in Kogi, Bayelsa and Imo states. This was made known by INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun. The National Commissioner added that in Bayelsa State, 16 political parties are sponsoring candidates, 17 in Imo State, and in Kogi State, all 18 parties are sponsoring candidates. Mr. Olumekun noted that planning for mock voter accreditation in the 3 states has been completed to test the functionality of the bimodal voter accreditation system and the upload of polling units results to the INEC result viewing portal. The British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, has published a report stating that President Bola Tinubu did not forge his Chicago State University certificate as alleged by his political opponent, Atiku Abubakar. The authors of the report made the conclusion after they contacted CSU with questions about his diplomas. Details of the report published on the BBC website stated that in response to the questions, the CSU said the institution is confident in the veracity and integrity of records regarding President Tinubu's attendance and completion of graduation requirements. Also, part of the responses by the CSU stated that the reason it could not find the diploma issued to President Tinubu in 1979 was because they do not keep copies of diplomas already collected by students. Further in their response, the CSU says it produced for President Tinubu a replacement diploma dated 27th of June 1979 and released diplomas awarded to other students that bore similar fonts, seal, signatures and wordings as Tinubu's diplomas. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, has asked President Bola Tinubu to put to rest the controversy surrounding his certificate released by the Chicago State University, representing an explanation. Addressing newsmen in Abuja, Obi says it is important for everyone questioning the authenticity of the president's certificate to have the true picture. Correspondent Abida Lawal reports.
The controversy and debate over the certificate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the Chicago State University may not be ending soon. Last week, candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, pledged to challenge the released certificate at the Supreme Court. The New Nigeria People's Party, on its part, said it will not be part of Atiku Abubakar's effort to unseat President Bola Tinubu. The party says it is not in court and does not want to be an interloper in the PDP's presidential candidate case. The Labour Party candidate Peter Obi has also made his position known, saying that the certificate matter be put to rest with a proper explanation from the president.
Well, I can say to you so many people that I came to university together and left together. Soludo, or the Winemefele, I can call all of them. If you went to Suga at the time I was there, I'm one of the very few students everybody knows. And I say it without anything, so you can go and verify that one. Invitation of the PDP presidential candidate, let me reiterate again, whenever there's an issue of national interest, I'm involved in it, invited or uninvited, because it's about our country.
There have been heated debates in the mainstream and social media over whether or not President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's academic records are relevant to Mr. Atiku's appeal and if the Apex Court will admit the fresh evidence. Recall that the presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, had reached out to his counterparts in the NNPP and the Labour Party. While the NNPP says it's not willing, the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, says he will join hands with the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, at the Supreme Court. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
Let's bring you more stories. Governor of Taraba State, Agbo Kefas, has challenged the leadership of the state chapter of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees to conduct their election in a free and fair atmosphere. Speaking to the leadership of the association in Jalingo, Governor Kefas dismissed the speculation that the state government will impose a candidate on them, but promised to work with whoever emerges as their leader. Correspondent Olabi Adenusi filed in this report.
The upcoming election of Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees in Taraba State has been raising tensions among the union members. While some of the union members had gone to court on allegation that the election committee wants to edge them out of the race by hurriedly closing the sales of forms to them, others believe that the state government has a plan to impose candidates on the union following intervention by the government calling for a shift in the date.
We're giving impression that he is the one stalling the election, that he has a candidate who is trying to support a candidate based on one reason or the other. I think the governor is above this level. And therefore, as a lawyer, as a human rights activist, my advice is that the governor, if he has anything to do with this union, advise that he should allow the union conduct their election.
The governor or government has no he has never interfered in our affairs of the union. He doesn't interfere. What we saw was the bad arrangement from the acting president. And as veterans, when we saw that they are trying to make the place to be a place for cultists, we stopped it.
This meeting with leadership of Nolge at Government House Jalingo was in the instance of Governor Agbu Kefas. The governor used the forum to clear the air that he has no preferred candidate or group, but recognized the vital role Nolge is playing in ensuring the welfare of local government staff.
Nolge has a rich history, and your norms, patterns, and formulas for electing your ESCO have stood the test of time. As the government, we hold no preference for any particular candidate or group, but we recognize the vital role Nolge plays in ensuring the welfare of local government staff.
The Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Babangida Hassan, also added his voice to the meeting.
The meeting went on successfully, so there's no any cause of alarm.
Political watchers believe that Governor Kefas has taken a right step by making his position known to Nolge members, which will enable them elect their preferred candidate.
Development partners have called for increased attention on challenges faced by adolescent girls in Nigeria. Speaking at an event in Abuja to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child in Abuja, speakers called for concerted efforts to ensure the safe release of young girls in captivity. Helen Osamide Akins reports.
There are millions of adolescent girls in Nigeria, each with her own dreams and aspirations. Most of them are unable to pursue their dreams because they are denied their rights in various spheres of life. While there has been a rise in attention and action towards the profound challenges faced by adolescent girls, it hasn't fully reflected the multifaceted reality these girls face. Here at this occasion to commemorate the day with these young girls, development partners once more focus on these challenges and how to address them.
We affirm our commitments to putting girls and women at the centre of our operations and our investments. Through our programmes and advocacy, we are supporting women and girls affected by the conflict in the northeast of Nigeria and tackling gender-based violence.
Investment comes in different forms. The investment in the basic social services, where the girls can have access to education, access to quality education as well. It's not only going to the school, but having the quality education, access to all the services related to health and nutrition.
As these children celebrate the day, the likes of Leah Sharibu are still in captivity. Chair of the Nigerian Governors' Wives Forum lends her voice to call for their safe release.
We continue the negotiations to see that they're freed. We do everything we can as a government, as a nation, to ensure their freedom. It's not just government, we also want civil societies, NGOs, everybody to come on board to see how we can negotiate any release of any girl in captivity.
Government should provide more more space in schools. They should actually ensure and tighten security, especially in schools, because if the girl child is given an opportunity to go to school and then there's not enough security, the parents won't want to be inside in trouble.
This year's theme for the International Day of the Girl Child underscores the need to invest in girls' rights. When given the right skills and opportunities, girls can become potent agents of change, leading advocacy and providing solutions. Helen Osamide-Kings, TVC News, Abuja.
The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has called on the Federal Fire Service to go beyond just responding to fire incidents to prevent an occurrence. He says much as the service has saved 111 lives and rescued 91 persons, a lot more is expected. TVC's Siphones Small.
The Federal Fire Service is rolling out new fire engines and rapid deployment vehicles for firefighting. According to the service, 111 lives have been saved in the first 6 months of the year.
Our fire statistic in the first and second quarter of 2023 is a testimony to a truly re-engineered service. Records at a data repository center put fire call for the period at 1,096. Life saves 111, successful rescue at 91, and total property saved at over 30 billion naira. The fire statistic real out will be better in the coming days.
Beyond the achievements of the service is the task of fire prevention and effective disaster management.
Your responsibility is not just about firefighting. Your responsibility is about rescue management. You are supposed to be, and you must be, because you have to be, the first responder on emergency situations. So your responsibility goes beyond fire. One, extinguishing fire is a responsibility. Protecting lives and properties is a responsibility. Rescuing and protecting people in the event of emergencies, including accidents, road traffic collision, etc., is a responsibility. And of course, protecting people in the event of other emergencies, such as natural disaster and other issues. This remains part of your responsibility.
It's an uphill task for the service, whose bill awaits presidential assent to expand its mandate. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
Take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, who is the Kano State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Nasiru Sulegaro, for discussion on Kano governance and Governor Yusuf's methods and achievements. Please stay with us.
Stage is set for the 2023 TVC Communications National Senior Secondary School Female Debate Championship. We thank everyone who sent in their entries. Shortlisted candidates have now been contacted from the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, and the top 5 finalists will soon be unveiled. In line with the International Day of the Girl Child, this year's debate will focus on raising the next generation of young girls in a technologically advanced world. Date, Saturday, October 14th, 2023. Time, 10 a.m. Tune in from TVC platforms and on YouTube to watch how the finalists marshal their points in a healthy debate, one of whom will be the 2023 TVC Debate Champion.
Our judges are Adesua Onyenokwe, media entrepreneur, founder and editor-in-chief, Today's Woman magazine. Tunji Shotimiri, PhD, culture advocate and lecturer, University of Lagos. Taiwo Kola Ogunlade, global communications and public affairs manager, West Africa, Google. Victoria Ajayi, Deputy Chief Financial Officer, TVC Communications. This event is sponsored by Union Bank of Nigeria PLC, Goddess Apartments, Radisson Hotel, Global T-Shirt Factory Nigeria Limited, Exam Paddy, Lasena Mineral Water, Golden Penny, Yemi Legend Small Chops, Genwena Events, Are delis and drinks.
Rewired Africa.
And powered by TVC Women's Network.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us tonight. I am joined by the Kano State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Nasir Suligaro, for discussion on Kano governance and Governor Yusuf's methods and achievements. Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right. The administration of Governor Yusuf is 4 months old, and just like I love to start these kinds of conversations, how will you describe the journey so far?
Well, in the name of Allah, the most beneficial, the most merciful, we could say so far so good. My governor, His Excellency Bakabir Yusuf, on top of his priority is to safeguard the life and properties of the people of Kano State. And so far, he has been able to achieve a lot in that direction. One of those things he has been able to do to be able to achieve the #1 priority is fighting, for example, pond snatching in Kano. Pond snatching has been a very big disaster then in Kano, where even people lost their lives. But today, that one is history in Kano. Another thing that he has been able to achieve in that direction is the support he has given the security agencies, especially during the verdict of the tribunal, when he supported them to put a curfew in Kano. If not because of that curfew, only God knows what would have happened in Kano in terms of crisis. On other issues, when you look at, for example, my ministry, which is a ministry for environment and climate change, before now it was just called Ministry for Environment, but because of the concern of my governor, he changed the name to Ministry for Environment and Climate Change so that we can be able to key into the issue of climate change mitigation, which is a global thing at the moment. And in that direction, we have been able to achieve a lot also in my ministry in terms of climate change and environmental activities. Few of those things is the revival of our agency, which is called REMASAV, which is saddled with the responsibility of refuse management and evacuation in Kano State. Before we took over, that agency has been neglected. In fact, it was nowhere to be found at that time. We just inherited like 5 equipment in terms of TFAs, bulldozers, and stuff like that. But today we have been able to revive that agency, and His Excellency has been able to support us in terms of purchase of equipment. We have in our fleet now at least 25 equipment in terms of that program. And we are working very hard to make sure that we are keeping Kano clean in terms of clearance of that refuse. Tree planting in Kano, which has to do with climate, has been neglected too, but this year we have been able to plant more than 1 million trees in Kano.
Well, before we get to that, can you hear me? Before we get to that, the governor started on a shaky and combative note, but how has this administration been able to stabilize things?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
The governor started on a shaky and combative note. I mean, I remember that in his first 30 days in office, we saw him dominating the news media across the country with some of his decisions and actions, which some described as controversial. So how has this administration been able to stabilize things?
Well, you see, I think maybe you are talking about the restoration of the master plan of Kano State. That too has a lot to do with environment. And so far the people have understood us very well, and there is a lot of understanding and stability in terms of acceptance of his mode of governance. So we could say that people are beginning to understand. We are just working in terms of restoration of, master plan of Kano, so that we could have a better development. And that, it's going on everywhere in the world. Even here in Abuja, for example, there is that issue of restoration of master plan. The current FCT minister is doing it. The former minister, for example, former governor of Kaduna State has done it. And all those things are being done to make sure that there is sanity in our cities. And of course, development for me is about expansion. When you want to develop a city, you have to find a way to expand it, not to be putting, infrastructures where they are not supposed to be. So people really understand us, and there is a lot of stability and a lot of activities in terms of development of Kano is going on now as we are talking.
All right, but yes, this is the master plan. But many people say the demolition is taking a toll on businesses in the states, especially construction. How will you react to that?
Well, you see, for example, when you want to talk about that restoration of master plan, I don't want to call it demolition, really. When you come and put something where it is supposed to be, you are distorting the master plan. And distortion of master plan, that master plan has been, developed by professionals. And those professionals has taken into consideration so many things that has to do with the welfare of the people. So when you have some kind of personal interest and you went and put a structure where it is not supposed to be, there has to be somebody who has the interest of the people, and that person will come and say that, no, we have to put things right. And this is exactly what we are doing. And of course, when you do that, of course, people are putting some of their resources to put those infrastructure. And one good thing is that when we were doing the campaign activities, everybody in Kano knows that our own, movement, the Konkosia, we always say that we will make sure that we put things right, and we are going to restore the master plan for the benefit of the people. When we want to do expansion, development of cities, we do expansion. During the last administration of Engineer Rabi Konkoso, he developed 3 cities in Kano. And I assure you this administration is going to make sure that those cities are working very well, and we are likely to even do more cities. And so this is just about restoration of master plan, and this is what we are doing.
All right. So apart from people who have said this demolition is taking a toll on businesses, there are others who have said the spate of demolition has affected the popularity of the governor. What is the perception of the people of the state about him now?
No, you see, that notion is not true, really. And there is no reduction in the popularity of His Excellency. If I can take you back, that activity has taken place before, the Eid al-Kabir in Kano. And during the Salah celebration, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, has gone around the city, and everybody is happy seeing him, and people are even encouraging him. When you invest your resources wrongly, you are bound to make some losses. Let me give you an example of Eid praying ground. That place has been earmarked for prayers for Eid, which happens twice in a year in Kano. And it's not only in Kano. Every Muslim society you go, you will find Eid ground. And people are not putting structures in Eid ground. In fact, it's supposed to be a place where people will be proud to have. And that place has been there for a very long time. And so when you come and put those kind of structure, and the worst part of it is that all those structures, they are being done without consideration of, the traffic in Kano, the influx of more people into Kano State. So parking area, parking space is even, nowhere to be found in those kind of places. So I assure you that program has not affected the popularity of my governor in any way. In fact, people were even happy with him because that is part of the manifesto, that is part of what he has promised the people, and that is what he has done for the people.
All right. So Kano State is the commercial capital of northern Nigeria. How is it faring in terms of finding revenue to fund projects?
Well, I didn't get the question very well.
Let me repeat myself. Kano State is considered as the commercial capital of northern Nigeria. So I'm asking, how is it faring in terms of finding revenue to fund projects?
Well, as we are, I am not the, specialist on revenue, but I know that the revenue of Kano is not all that much. However, we are working very hard, even in my ministry, Ministry for Environment and Climate Change. There are so many activities and programs that we are going to put in place, which is going to generate some more resources for the benefit of the people. The, Commissioner for Finance, the Ministry for Finance, the Accountant General, and people like that, I know they are working very hard to see how we can be able to increase the revenue of Kano State. And I assure you, with what we are going to put in place, people will be ready because they have, confidence in the government of Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, and so they will be willing to pay all the taxes. So I want to assure you that, the revenue of Kano State is going to increase very soon.
All right. The governor inaugurated a standing committee with Professor Ibrahim Magaji as the chairman to increase the IGR in Kano State. What's the motive?
Magaji?
Did you get my question? The governor, can you hear me?
Yeah, not very well, but...
All right, so let me repeat myself. The governor inaugurated a standing committee with Professor Ibrahim Magaji as the chairman to increase the IGR in Kano State. So I'm asking, what's the motive?
The motive is to increase the IGR, just like I have mentioned. They are, like I said, they are on the drawing board, working very hard to make sure that, we find all ways to see how we can increase the revenue of Kano State. So that committee has been set off for them to look into all the loopholes where the revenues are been, going, so that they can block it and then harness all the revenues for the development of Kano State. And I believe that committee will do a wonderful job in the nearest future.
So how far has the government gone with the final reports of the State Task Force on IGR?
The state?
How far has the government gone with the final reports of the State Task Force on IGR?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Which report are you talking about?
Mr. Nasiru, how far has the government gone with the final reports of the State Task Force on IGR?
Well, I think that is the question you asked me earlier, the State Task Force on IGR. And like I said, I'm not a professional in the financial, sector in Kano State. And, but I believe that the people that are in that committee are competent enough to be able to do what they have to do to increase the IGR of Kano State.
All right, so let's move on. The governor lost at the tribunal and has vowed to appeal, but some political bigwigs have advised him not to. How confident are you that he will win at the appeal?
Well, you see, I'm not a lawyer again, but I know that so many professionals in the judiciary who are very vast with the knowledge of what is going on there, They have done their analysis, and they have assured everybody that there are so many loopholes in that verdict, and of course we are likely to, we have a lot of confidence that we are going to win at the appeal. And you know, the judiciary is one arm of the government that we still have a lot of confidence on, and most of these judgments that are gotten at the tribunal level or lower courts, when they come off to the higher courts, most of the time they are being corrected. So we have confidence on the judiciary that they will look at this case properly, and they will do justice to it, and they will make sure that what the people of Kano has voted, which is NNPP, they voted for Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, that election is going to stand. And the verdict that they have given at the lower tribunal is not going to stand as far as what the professionals in the law has been talking about all over the country. We have listened to so many of them, and so many of them are still talking about this judgment of Kano State, and so we have confidence that the right thing will be done at the appeal court.
All right. So another thing I would like you to react to is that some analysts said the loss at the tribunal jolted the governor into taking more action. Why this?
Well, I don't know the action you are talking about, but of course the governor is the governor of Kano State, and he has so many activities lined up for the development of Kano. So he is not really deterred by what has happened at the tribunal. That is why the governor is still working tirelessly to make sure that he delivered the dividend of democracy for the good people of Kano State. So governor is working very well, and he's working very hard for the benefit of people of Kano State. When you look at what he has been able to achieve, or at this time, this little time, in terms of education, which is one of the, cardinal of Concosia, he has been able to do a lot. As soon as we took over, governor paid NECO and other examinations, which they even stopped doing exams for the candidates in Kano State. But as soon as we took over, governor went and sat down with them and agreed with them, paid them what they were owing Kano State, and then they came back and continued with their exams for the people, and people are happy about that. And you can see that as I'm talking to you, more than 1,000 people has been screened, and they are ready to go for, scholarship program all over the world, which has always been, one of the principles of Concosia. And when you look at the institutions, that were closed down, about 24 of them. Governor also went ahead to reestablish all those institutions, and they are already taking admission for people to go there and learn, different trades for their benefit. The governor also in the area of education has been able to slash tuition fee for all state institutions in Kano by 50%. The governor also paid about ₦1 billion for tuition to Kano State students. So we are doing a lot. The governor is doing a lot every day.
Mr. Nasir, we'll come back to education and some of the achievements of the governor. We will do that later on. But because you're still talking about some of the actions, we heard that part of the decisions after the tribunal judgment was mobilizing of contractors handling the abandoned 5-kilometer roads in 44 local government areas to site. How far has the administration gone with this?
Well, that is part of the development. You are just reminding me also. It's not because of the verdict. Those projects have been all in the pipeline, and it has been a project that was going on but abandoned. And the governor feels that all those projects are projects that have direct benefit for the people. So it's not about, after the verdict that those programs were kick-started. No, it has been there, and we are doing it, and he will even do more. There are too many other roads that were abandoned, not only the 5-kilometer road. There is an important road in Kano State, a road that start from BUK all side to Durum, to Kabo, to Karahe, for example. That road has been in the pipeline for a very long time, and it was awarded for contract, but that project has been abandoned. It is now being, the contractors have been mobilized, and there is another very important project which is called Wuju project. That one also has to do with even my ministry of environment. That is a major road which is cutting across the city of Kano. You know, it started from Gorondusa all the way into the city, you know, to Hadeja Road. And that project was started long ago by the administration of Rabi Konkoso, and now people, the contractors are back to site and they are working. So it's not because of the, you know, judgment that, you know, the governor started this work. The work has already been going on. The judgment just came and met the projects going on, and we are going to continue to do those projects. Nothing is going to deter the governor. The governor is have a lot of confidence that the appeal court will do justice to what has to do with the verdict.
All right. So Governor Yusuf also announced the fresh appointments of 94 aides after appointing about 116 additional aides comprising 63 senior special assistants, 41 special assistants, and 12 personal assistants. Why there's multiple appointments in these tough times?
Well, you see, when a new government comes in, there are a lot of, appointments that are supposed to come on with the government. And all those appointments are relevant appointments. And the people are expected to go and assist the governor, to assist the government, so that we can be able to achieve all what we are, we have promised the people. The government of Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf is a very determined, and government that is ready to do, what it has promised the people. That is why he needed all the assistance of the people, especially people that have the know-how, people that can be able to, understand what the governor wants to do. That is why he is appointing all those people. And most of them, are professionals. Most of them are even beneficiaries of Concosia scholarship from different parts of Kano State. So those appointments are the right appointments, and the governor has done the appointment so that we can be able to, do what is necessary for the people and do it as quickly as possible.
But some analysts have said that with the state's poor human development indices, this is the governor has invested in some culture of waste and fiscal recklessness, especially at a time when Nigerians are clamoring for government at all levels to cut the cost of doing governance.
Not about, recklessness or something like that. Like I said earlier, all these people are professionals. And as you are aware, this government of Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, as soon the very day he was inaugurated as governor, that was the time he started work. And from the place where he took his oath, he went straight to one of the water treatment plant in Kano. And that is to show you how serious the governor is and how ready he is to work for the people. And we have all these professionals, people who are ready to also contribute to the, to contribute towards achieving the goals of the governor. And they are professionals. That is why they are appointed into those positions. Most of those positions has been in existence, and the few new positions has to do with new initiatives where we can be able to deliver the democratic dividends as quickly as possible. That is why those appointments have been made, and those people, I assure you, They are working very hard. They are working round the clock to make sure that His Excellency Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, achieve all what he has promised for the people as quickly as possible.
All right. Let's take a quick break. I've been speaking with the Kano State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Nasir Sule Garu. Tonight we're discussing Kano governance and Governor Yusuf's methods and achievements. When we return, we'll talk about education and what the governor is doing to revive that sector. Please stay with us.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, and I've been speaking with the Kano State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change, Nasir Sule Garu. Tonight we're discussing Kano governance and Governor Yusuf's methods and achievements. Thank you for staying with us, Honorable Commissioner. And let's move on with the conversation, and this time let's talk about education. So tell us, what is the governor doing to revive the sector?
Well, before I continue with education, which I have started earlier on, let me talk a little bit more about my own ministry, which is the Ministry for Environment and...
Mr. Nasir, we will get there. We will get there.
Okay.
Did you get me?
Like I said earlier, in terms of education, the governor...
Yes, we will get to your ministry. Let's start with education.
Yes. The education, which I have started with earlier on, one of the principles of Konkosia is for the son of nobody to become somebody without knowing anybody. And people can only become somebody by getting educated. And we take education very, very seriously. That is why when we took over, one of the first things His Excellency did was to make sure that we are putting the education sector back to where it should be in Kano State. Like I said earlier on, when we took over, NECO has even declared that they are not going to conduct examination for students in Kano State. We had to go and sit down with them. The governor had to sit down with them, agree with them, and then we make some payment in terms of what the Kano State government was owing them at that time, and they quickly returned to the normal activities that has to do with examination in Kano State. And we have in Kano institutions which were established for people to be going there to learn trades. Places like, PIM Industry Institution, places like corporate security institutions, and we even have so many other institutions. And most of those institutions were closed down and nothing was going on in those institutions. Quickly, His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, re-established and reopened those schools, equip them, appoint teachers and leaders in that school. And as I'm talking to you, people are beginning to seek admission into those institutions, and academic activities have already commenced in those institutions. Also, the governor has been able to pay for the people, students in Kano State, tuition fee, about a billion naira for people who were unable, who could not be able to pay tuition fees because of the situation in the country, which things are very hard, especially because of withdrawal of fuel subsidy. And the governor is doing all that. One other important thing is the issue of scholarship, foreign scholarship for those people who has first class from their university studies. those people, and you don't need to know anybody. All you have to do is to go and meet the committee doing screening. They will screen you. As I'm talking to you, more than 1,000 students in Kano have been screened, and they are in the process of going to different countries to pursue education for the benefit of the people of Kano State. As I'm talking to you, a lot of appointees in this government, including even commissioners, are beneficiaries of that scheme which was initiated by our leader, engineer Dr. Rabiu Musa Konkoso. So a lot has been done in the education sector. Even this morning, before I left Kano this afternoon, I was at Government Technical College Ungogo to do fumigation in the secondary schools. In all the secondary schools in Kano, we are doing fumigation. As I'm talking to you, I did the luncheon this afternoon before I left Kano State. So all this is to make sure that there is conducive atmosphere for pupils in Kano State so that they can get a very quality education.
All right. So let's talk about the Ministry of Environment, which you're in charge of. What's the state doing to keep Kano Metropolis cleaner?
Well, like I have mentioned earlier, there's an agency of government that is saddled with the responsibility of making sure that Kano is clean, Remasab. That one is responsible for refuse management in total. And when we took over, that agency was not active. In fact, it was nowhere to be found. They only have like 5 equipments, but today we have so many other equipments. We can say we have 25 or more of equipment, and the governor is still, working very hard to make sure that he supports us in terms of providing more equipment. In terms of climate change, we have been able to do a lot. There's one policy which has to do with open defecation. That one is a problem in Africa, in some of the cities. And Kano State, for example, the governor said he cannot tolerate open defecation anywhere in Kano. And our public toilets, which are supposed to be in Kano to be, taking care of the needs of the people, have all been abandoned. They are dilapidated. The governor mandated the ministry. As I'm talking to you, we are in the process of making sure that all those public conveniences have been put in proper use, and new ones are going to even be built so that we can eradicate completely open defecation in Kano State. That also is another one, is the issue of tree planting. This year we have planted more than 1 million trees, even though we came in at the tail end of rainy season, but we had to make provision to be able to see that we planted those trees, and we have put a mechanism in place to nurture those trees to make sure that they grow for the benefit of the people.
All right. I want you to talk about flooding. Which has become a big environmental challenge in Nigeria. What's the situation with the state?
Yes, you see, flooding has to do with clearance of, drainages. And in Kano, we are also doing that very much to make sure that all our drainages, as I'm talking to you, not only Ministry for Environment is doing the work on drainages, so that we can all come together and make sure that our drainages are clean. There is an agency that has to do with, repair of our streets, which is called Karma. Karma is also, apart from putting the streets in order, they are trying to also work on the drainages that are, by the side of the street, and Ministry for Environment is doing that as well. So we are making sure that all our drainages are clean, and His Excellency has even an advisor for drainage clearance in Kano. Because of that, we don't want to have any issue that has to do with flooding. So we are working very hard to make sure that we don't have an issue of flooding in Kano State.
So what's the state government doing to tackle the impact of climate change?
Well, like I said, we have done a lot in terms of tree planting, and we are already preparing to make sure that in the next rainy season, we have planted more trees. And there is an agency called Kano. That one is saddled with the responsibility of, trees nursery. And that agency has not been working at all. But this administration has revived that agency. And as I'm talking to you, they're in the process of making sure that all their sites are being cleared, and they bought so many seedlings to nurse them so that we can be able to plant all those trees. In terms of, mitigation of climate change. So this administration, because of the concern His Excellency Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf has for climate change, that is why he has added the name of climate on the Ministry for Education. And we are not just putting the name, we are doing so many programs to make sure that we tackle the issue of climate change head-on in Kano State.
All right then. So in 30 seconds or 20 seconds, if you can, what is your message to the people of Kano State at this time?
Well, like I always said, especially when we go for our monthly sanitation in Kano, which is another program that has been abandoned for a very long time, is we are happy with the cooperation we are getting from the people of Kano State. And I am very much assured that the people of Kano State are in full support of all the programs His Excellency is doing. And so we want to seek for more of their cooperation, and His Excellency is doing a lot to make sure that we have achieved all those things which we have promised them during the campaigns in Kano State.
All right. Thank you so much, Nasir Sule Garo, Kano State Commissioner for Environment and Climate Change. Thank you so much for coming on Politics Tonight as we discuss Kano governance and Governor Yusuf's methods and achievement. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And thanks a lot for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke00 using the hashtag Politics Tonight. You're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Good night.
Bye, Mom. He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
Morphine insecticide with its improved formulation heals